Hello, my name is Alun. My pronouns are he, him, and I've just realized I haven't got an appropriate black background up. So there'll now be a slight pause while I put the background up that relates to this game. Um,
Ooh.
we are playing the cluster. This is my game in development. I've written about 60 pages of it, so things are going well. Um, in which a group of a found family are exploring a cluster of seven systems and have found themselves engaged in all sorts of daring do and underhand activities. You want to know more about how they got to where they are? Go back and look at the other sessions in this series. I think we're on session 7, but I've lost track. Um, so we will begin with Nestor Green. Sabine couldn't be here last time, so Nestor and an old friend, Nestor Red, spent some downtime together while the others embarked on what happened last time. So, downtime tab. When you exit a ring gate, fix, refresh, or heal as determined by current wealth. Now, wealth then was better than it is now because in your absence, Nestor, uh, the other crew spent most of your wealth on an upgrade to the ship and repairs.
I
Uh,
hope something they upgraded something useful.
I think they upgraded a
The
targeting
targeting
array.
array. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm totally on board with that.
We
Well,
seem to be having some trouble hitting the whisper last time, Nesta. So I thought this would
yes,
improve somewhat.
I'm absolutely in favor of that. Yes.
Oh, and I need to apologize as I've got a cough, so I will try to remove myself when I'm taken by a cough. Um, so the ship is in pretty good, is in much improved nick. But it did cost you a lot. But for the moment when you arrived at that downtime, you were actually breaking even. So you can fix, refresh, or heal once. Choose one of those to do. So fix a single piece of gear, um, delete all your stress, or delete a wound. Any choice, Nesta?
I want to fix my gear. I have
I thought you might.
yeah, my
Power armor,
now my power armor.
fine.
Why did I mark a spacesuit? I wanted my power armor. That was that one. Maybe I mistakenly chose something wrong.
Yeah,
I want the power armor,
I thought
and I
so.
will fix that. There we go. Fixed. I still have one stress, but I think that's fine.
And now I have a terrible feeling that
Mhm.
you do not have the most updated character keeper.
Oh,
Which,
oh yeah, that's possible.
okay, I'm going to
You
bung it in the
can
Zoom chat now.
link me to it, please.
Because,
Almost.
oh, did somebody else just clear that fix? Oh, right. Okay. Right.
Okay.
It's just that's
Yeah,
what was keying me to,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
okay.
So,
Yeah, that makes sense because I was a bit surprised of Jax and the Deacon and yeah. Okay, should have clued me in as well. I do not have any stress. Somebody already cleared my power armor, so
yeah.
I fixed that. That's nice. Okay. And I
Yeah.
do get to do another thing, right?
You do. So
Okay.
downtime.
Ooh,
Do you want
downtime.
to flashback to to having conversations maybe with Nesta Red on the ship, or do you want to have it as part of a shore leave?
Um, I'm sorry, I was just gazing at all the downtime activities and missed the half of the question. Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, you've got an immediate choice,
Mhm,
which
mhm.
is do you frame a flashback to the time on the ship with Nesta Red, or do you describe a scene as part of a shore leave with Nesta, with Red? I,
I think I would like to go on a shore leave with Ness with Red because I feel I've been on more shore leaves outside of the snack system, so I can maybe brag a little about my worldliness, kind of, yeah.
okay, so which of those four shore leave moves are you going to frame this time with Red?
I think I mean I don't actually need to cut loose. So there's no, right?
I mean, to be honest, given that today is our finale and we kind of know what it's about,
yeah, okay, then I'm
there's
going
not a
to
heck
get
of a
loose.
lot. Yeah.
I'm going to just cut loose with her. I think that's fine. So we can just look and gawk a little at all the techie stuff. Where are we at right now? At
I think that
Iron
probably
Splintered Reach, right?
this is on the RGA station on
Oh,
the
okay.
Splintered Reach.
So that's pretty advanced, right? Tech-wise. Yeah, yeah. So I think we go and take a bath or something in one of those fancy things that have bubble baths and zero G bath where you get a rebreather. But yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so at the time when this was happening, before they spent all the money on improvements, you get to roll +2.
Okay, get to roll +2.
This is more about whether there are going to be any complications, because
oh yeah, okay.
you don't particularly need the benefit.
No, I don't. I'm taking these dice. Oh. +2, it's an 8.
7 to 9. Your success is accompanied by a complication that might involve a potentially dangerous situation, a tense situation, a difficult choice, a relationship shift.
Oh.
That's interesting.
Hmm.
I think that, yes, I know what. You're so where are you? You're in this kind of impressive bathhouse.
Yeah.
And through the steam, you've just gone for a dip in the cold pool and you're coming back into the steamy room. And you notice that Red appears to have just finished a conversation with someone.
Okay.
And that's someone you recognize. If you want to check out the faces and places, down on row 128, a guy called Conrad Jones.
Okay.
The others know Conrad is in system.
Okay.
And Conrad was McPatrick's original target on Snag.
Okay.
He's technically with the Horizon, but the Horizon thinks that he's playing both ends against the middle, that he's not entirely loyal.
Okay. Okay.
And it's, you don't see them talking, but the body language suggests that, they've just turned away and she sees you and waves and he leaves.
Okay.
So I just want to create a bit of suspicion around Red.
Yeah?
I
mean, I will ask her what that was about.
I bumped into him. I was just, apologizing. I didn't think we'd get, rough and tumble yet.
Okay. I mean, you do you. Yeah, okay. Fine. I don't think Nestor is that suspicious right now because he's probably forgotten about the whole. This is all fairly complicated, and Nestor is a simple guy. So somebody tells him to hit something, that's fine. But like the whole ramifications with who this dude is and where the Horizon stands and with the RGA, that's a little bit
So many balls in the air, so many plates spinning.
Yeah, but look, I've got Chris, I've got Dr. Rillisk. They know what's going on. All I have to do is to keep them grounded enough so we get paid. So
enough said. So I think then we cut to the Fortitude heading from the RGA station to the Steel Moon. Yeah. So who'd like to plug the coordinates into the navcom?
Sure.
Yeah, Dr. Rillisk, do your stuff.
Okay, that is what move?
That is operations navcom. When you plot a course to a named in-system destination, roll plus navcom.
Okay.
Which is +1.
Is that new?
Yeah, I've shuffled a couple of the descriptions because navcom seemed a better description than drive for this. 9. Okay, 7 to 9. 7 plus. Do you arrive at your destination, or do you have a deep space encounter en route?
Let's arrive at our destination. I don't want to spend another session getting bogged down in the as much as I want to try out the new exploration move.
So 7 to 9. Either the ship arrives with 1 random damage. So I'll roll 2d6 and apply. That is 1-5. So
Or
that
the
is
crew find themselves at disadvantage at the start of the encounter. I think that if it's my choice, then I choose random damage. Yeah.
yeah. No, it's not.
Okay.
It's if you arrive at your destination. The way I can't quite lay it out in the keeper. It's better in when on the page. You have a choice: arrive at your destination, and then the 7 to 9 outcome becomes random damage due to wear and tear, or have a deep space encounter and begin it at disadvantage. Do you see what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So there's a bifurcation
yes.
depending on
Yeah,
your
yeah.
decision.
I see. Yeah.
So that's 1-5. Oh, that new weapon system that is glitchy. I've just applied 1 damage to operations in the form of weapons drop from +2 to +1.
The,
Damn.
the Horizon techs clearly don't know their business. They swore that they had this patched in, but look, they've rerouted the circuits from aft ports, and it's completely gone haywire.
Love it.
And we take them all those credits as well.
Yes, we
Love
have
it,
to
love it,
shoot.
love it.
Yeah, yes, we have to shoot with hand again.
Yeah.
Worked so well last time.
Advantage will cancel that. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
And anyway, you've got the codes, as you approach the Steel Moon, there's a handshake between the Fortitude and the Maintenance Guild. I'm imagining the Maintenance Guild, well, you tell me, have they built a structure on the surface of the moon, or have they put a kind of station in synchronous orbit with it?
I think a mix. I think there are structures built around the moon, like haphazard not seemingly haphazard, sort of like construction scaffolding-y type stuff, like space scaffolding around it. And there is also like an orbiting central habitat that is the sort of base of operations there.
Fine.
Lots and lots of like traffic backwards and forwards between a few things, work crews, like it's a very this is one of the biggest art, like.
Well, it's the great project. It's what
great
your
project.
entire
Exactly,
culture is dedicated to.
Exactly, yeah.
This is what you do.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Well, now technically what they do.
And then the green and blue of Koth way off in the background,
Lovely, lovely. In fact, just like behind you there, but all this activity around the moon. And so, yeah, there's a handshake between the orbital and the Fortitude, and you are given an approach and a docking bay, and we see you docked. So you're sorry, Nesta, go.
Yeah, can someone remind me what we're doing here? What's our objective? Just so I push the right things.
Well, so this is the finale, right? So it'd be good to resolve this Mantis conspiracy of high-tech people trying to keep the low-tech people down through. So, I mean, how do we think that should be best resolved in terms of an objective? I think that it could be more, blow the whole thing wide open with some sort of like, transmit their secret plans across can't stop the signal, or it could be snatch a guy off the station and bring him to justice on Galliel's thingy, or it could be go so bold as to sabotage the steel moon itself. Which we're more interested in, I think, is the question. What do we want to do as a team?
Because the deal that you've been offered by that RGA operative is to provide some evidence, some proof of this conspiracy. But how far you take that, I think, is up to you in play. McPatrick, what are you thinking?
I think expose. I think that's a reasonable. I mean, clearly, if there is a thermo nuclear weapon just right on the inside that could be set off and destroy the whole thing. I don't think it would be that easy. I think expose. We can always come back to get rid of it at a later date.
So we're basically the bit in Rogue One where they have to get the the data cylinders. That's us basically. We have to get to that sort of a hidden like database servers, etc. Expose the entire thing in some way, get it off the station and back to the wider cluster.
And I guess, Nestor, your key operative function here is to make sure that that's possible if things get in the way.
Yeah, that's fine. I can totally do that.
So
a meta thing I would love to, it was one of my wishes, and I think I really the ship combat was really cool. We did it. If we can work our way towards a daring chase of some kind on a fleeing part of the game, I would love that to be the last act.
In my notes, I have written down exfiltration and escape.
Cool.
Because finding the information is not what this is about. It's getting it out.
Yeah, perfect. Cool. I didn't want us to get too carried away with the blow by blow until we run out of time and not get that part.
Yeah. If we get 2 hours in, I will begin to hard frame towards that escape.
Cool.
So on the way to that, I guess, where do you start? Now, Rillisk, you used to work here. So, what precautions are you taking? Because you're wanted by the maintenance guild. So
Rillisk has shaved her head entirely and has a bunch of temporary tattoos provided by the Horizon that supposedly indicates that she's part of a like some sort of nomadic. No, there's a cult, isn't there? There's a cult active in the system. I forget what they're called.
There is. There's it is. There's the Unified Mind, or the Forsaken that you encountered, who are heavy into tattoos. If you go to Faces and Places and go up to Void 3.
Yes.
Yeah, there's
the
Roll 44 provides some examples of what, in fact, I'm never quite certain whether this makes any difference, but those are some of the people you encountered there.
Yeah. You know what? But the Forsaken, because I think it will mean that people if people see that, they'll dismiss her as a lower. She knows what the prejudices are of many of the maintenance guilds, and it's that the rest of the cluster is a fallen world, is a fallen area of savages, basically. And, yeah. So
I get that.
People won't look beyond the tattoos, strange as it may seem.
So, Rillisk is going to need to take a risk at some point of being spotted here. McPatrick, you fit in, I guess. Given nobody's looking for you, as far as you know.
Well, I've got some fake ID anyway.
You have.
In fact, is this a good time for everybody to pick their?
Well, I was about to say the thing that has changed, Sabine, since the last time you were here. Given the conversation we had at the end of the last session, you were here about gear. You can select any 6 items into your list, but now there is a tag called obvious, which you have to select before you leave the ship. Other stuff, you can fill in the remaining 3 from your list, the remaining whatever from your list, depending on what happens in play. But yeah, what I need for each of you to do is to make sure that the 6 that I can see in the character keeper are the 6 you want to have available to you this time. And then if you are going to take any of those obvious ones, you need to put a tick in the carried, the C box now. So to illustrate, Dr. Rillisk is carrying a data tablet, engineering kit, and a stun pistol. Works for me. And the only thing,
but to be honest, the doctor actually doesn't have to tick any of them.
Any of those. No. None of those are obvious. So you have a free pick from that 6 when it matters.
So
Paramilitary armor is obvious, so that's
Yeah.
why McPatrick has a tick in that column.
Yeah.
There's nothing else in that list that is obvious. The challenge for you, Sabine, is that both your advanced rifle and your powered armor are fairly obvious.
Yeah, that I figured. So, should I not take that? Because I think we might need it. I can't just pretend to be someone looking for
That is the
action.
challenge, isn't it? Depends
Yeah.
whether you intend to want to attract attention or not.
Well, I mean,
It will be fairly obvious, but it occurs to me we could come up with some sort of explanation for why you require the powered armor.
Yeah.
Perhaps, you come from a low gravity world, radioactive damage to your bone structure, and this is your only it's more of a medical support suit than a combat suit, of course.
yeah, but combined with the gun, it kind of tells another story, Dr. Rillisk. Really, I mean, oh no, I need this, and what do you need the rifle for?
It's a dangerous cluster.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I would be
yeah.
surprised if the guilds allowed us to walk around with the rifle within any of their habitats. But
Well, look, I mean, if I could make a suggestion,
Mhm,
the only advantage of the rifle
mhm,
is its range, really, and
yeah,
armor piercing. Yeah.
yeah.
If you look down a bit further, you'll find rifle compact, close, hidden, suppressive fire.
Okay. I have rifle compact fire suppressive fire, but close hidden. Oh, and I'll take that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that now, if you want that to be an attachment of the power armor, I'm very happy to have that, locked
Yeah.
away in some arm brace.
Oh, I like that. Yes, yes. Let's do that. I will have to. Now
I
I
mean,
have
this
rifle
is,
twice.
Martian Marine Corps armor, really, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. That's
We all
fine.
know this.
Yeah. I need to take some other stuff. Ooh, I think I can hide
Well,
some.
yeah, exactly. Choose
Can I
other
hide two
stuff.
grenades, right? I can hide them. It's
All you have
fine.
to do is to pick 6
Yeah.
things
I
that
have
are going to
picked.
be that could be available to you.
I have picked. Is the blade I can talk down the blade as being a cultural thing that I need.
You don't
That the
need to
red.
describe it at all. It's not obvious.
Yeah. Oh, it's not obvious. So then it's fine. So the grenades aren't obvious either, right? Because grenades aren't that big.
No. If it doesn't say obvious, they ain't
Okay.
obvious.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, I see. Okay, fine. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
good.
Okay. And that respirator, you won't need that because you've got powered armor on.
You said that last time, and then I needed it.
Oh, well, I've changed my mind.
Okay, cool. So I will take a lucky charm. Can't hurt.
There you go.
Right.
Okay. So, I'm going to suggest that McPatrick, you take the lead here because you are actually employed by the Horizon. So if anybody did a background check on you, and there's the slightly faceless Nesta Green power armor, and the skivvy, who's so you have a delivery. That's your cover, McPatrick. What do we see you doing? How does this delivery scene go?
I think I'm going to approach the. So are we at sort of an airlock? Sort of.
You're in a docking bay, so
in a docking bay.
You've docked
So
within
the
station or adjacent to the station, whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to say I'm going to go up to him and say, "Hi, I've been summoned here. I'm a bounty hunter. This is my entourage. We have a high-level meeting with members of the I want to say techno union, but it's not, is it?
It's not. It's the maintenance guild.
The maintenance guild.
That's a better name.
Fifth level navigator.
Okay, let's see how that goes then. Now remember, you can stress relevant equipment to get advantage, but at the moment, this feels like convince or take a risk. What do you think this best fits?
Well, not one be one that plays to advantages. What stats are they based on?
So convince, it sounds like you're charming rather
Yeah,
than
that sounds
going in
sincere, doesn't it?
hard. Or actually, I think you're deceiving and misleading. So I think it's roll plus shady to convince.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. I was going to look at spending my cred and slipping them some extra money because this is quite
Well,
important. But no, I think with +2, what can go wrong like last week? Let's see. So just flat 2 dice +2. Yes, there we go. Winner, winner. It's Snake
it's a pair of
Eyes.
ones. We
Wow.
have picked up where we left off.
Good
McPatrick made
start.
the first roll last time, and
Mhm.
it defined the session.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm. Yeah.
so um,
Four.
I guess the question is whether anyone has any fictional positioning that might lead to aiding an ally here.
Do we still have cred?
You have
Because
one
Yes,
cred.
you
I have
have
one
one cred.
cred. So maybe I could slip that to the guy and help out Chris here.
So this is, faceplate up and
Mhm.
say, just, something for the benevolent fund. Is that the way this goes?
Yeah, this is maybe like I'm putting this up and saying, uh, we'll make it worth your while.
That sounds like an opportunity to resolve this socially rather than coming on heavy. So roll plus sincere to aid McPatrick.
Oh, great, thank you. And do I get anything for the cred that I'm using?
You roll with advantage.
Oh, a roll with advantage. That's good because my sincere is, well, already marked all. But you know what? Yeah, that's a 9. So,
Wow, look at that. So on a 7 plus you're successful, something like you suffer any cost attached to their original outcome. So your outcome, McPatrick, improves from fail to mixed success. So mixed success means yeah, I'm going to force you to sweeten the deal. You need to put a cred in as well.
I can do that.
Um, but his original was they refuse or demand something significant from you, or the GM describes the cost of failure. Let me see if rolling 2 dice on cost of failure inspires me with an outcome. 5 and 5 is 5 and 5. A friendly face is in the crosshairs. Yes, I think. Now, you thought you left Red back on the station.
yep.
Um, but
So,
down the docking bay, you see Red getting out of some kind of commercial freighter um, and waving to security as she breezes through.
okay.
Um, I don't know whether that inspires Nesta to do anything,
Well,
but
I
that is the
mean,
consequence.
okay, I will alert the others that look, there's Red. I don't know. She talked this Conrad guy in the bath. Don't know what that's about.
And I think it's fair to say that then as McPatrick and Rillisk look over there, you see her embracing Conrad and they head off away from the docking to what looks like the departure route down to the Steel Moon. Okay?
Yeah,
Um,
she's been busy.
yeah, they embrace like long lost friends. I will
Okay.
remind you that she was employed by the
Mm,
Snags, he was employed by the Horizon,
mm.
and the reason McPatrick was watching him was because the Horizon didn't entirely trust him to being entirely on the Horizon boat. So I'll just put that on the shelf as a possible complication to throw at you later. But right now, McPatrick, that gets you through. It was more expensive than you'd intended. Um, I think it's more interesting if the high ups of the Maintenance Guild are in that main structure below the orbital. so that we actually get to the steel moon rather than just messing about on the orbital. So I think we cut to the three of you on one of the shuttles that regularly makes trips between the orbital and the moon. Rillisk, I think this is when you are most at risk of being spotted, because this isn't just the Maintenance Guild's administrative team and their cargo handlers up on the station. This is the scientific staff. So I think I see you making your way through one of these kind of accretions that the Guild has built across generations on the surface of the moon. Let me have you take a risk, Dr. Rillisk. And I think this is shady.
Yep.
Because you are definitely trying to deceive people into believing you are not who you are.
Yes, and we flash back to on the horizon, where one of the horizon guys is tattooing Rillisk, and he's giving this spiel about how like some people just think that you can change your face, but in the higher tech areas, they've got facial recognition systems. They can track all of things. We've embedded our special UV reflective materials within these tattoos. And don't worry, they'll wear off eventually, but it'll baffle any sensors. And she's like, does this have to sting so much? So yeah, I'll spend a cred to give myself advantage on that.
I like that.
And that is 10.
Wow. So on a 10 plus, you are successful, no downside. That goes like clockwork. So until the fiction changes a bit, you're home free. You are that faceless.
Yeah. There's a horrible moment when a glowing blue security light sweeps over a face and then maps a facial structure out entirely, and then it comes up with no match on the side of the screen. And
so Rillisk, you do know where the action is in terms of this surface main structure. So do you want to describe what we see the three of you doing next?
The shuttle docks. It comes into a huge, cavernous place where there's lots of other traffic, but it's all very Star Trekky, clean and glistening and steel, a complete contrast to the sort of places we've been hanging out most of the time. And yeah, there's offices and habs and green. There's even trees and things inside of here. Green spaces. It's absolutely the highest level of technology, and Rillisk knows that within this structure there is the data banks, the grand huge amounts of processing power and supercomputers and secure servers, and you can each of them replicated dozens of times over for massive redundancy, and it's all just about if you can take out any one of these banks, you could potentially decrypt the whole thing with enough time and effort. But they're very behind several layers of security, and and it is very much like that Rogue One kind of big long
lots of data.
Yeah, lots and lots of data, all with superfluous glowing blue lights to indicate how high tech and fancy it is.
And perhaps the most striking thing that the others will notice here is that you are in human standard gravity. Yet this moon is not big enough to generate that gravity. That gravity is a function, the Maintenance Guild believes, of the ancients, that this vast piece of technology generates gravity.
Yeah, there are signs, I think, on the shuttle doors that say, remember, full gravity in effect. Because usually people just pull themselves out and drift off, right? But here, it's all perfect. Can I add a detail to that? Perhaps it's not even that there's human gravity. Would it be that there are bits of the structure and the way we work around gravity's like localized and inverted. They have such control
Shall we
on walls and ceilings.
shall we keep that in our back pocket?
Yeah.
Let's not mess with gravity and
No,
ceiling.
it just was a cool visual that occurred to me.
Yeah. No, well, I think we'll play into that as time goes on, perhaps. Okay, McPatrick, there are multiple layers of security. What is the first layer of security that Rillisk briefed you on?
I think it is some sort of like ID badge scanner
Okay,
type security.
and how are you going to get through that, Patrick?
I'm going to basically disable the system. I'm going to lay my key card, my dodgy key card on, and that's going to have some sort of like virus that's going to infect. I would like to crack this.
When you need to get in discreetly and it's a data system or store role plus sharp, a physical location. I think this is a physical location. So roll plus shady as to see whether is this using your fake ID?
Yeah. In there is a bit of a malware.
Do you want to stress that in order to get advantage on this? Or do you
No. I
in your back
love
pocket?
rolling 2 1s all the time. I really look forward to it. Didn't need to. Rolled an 8 plus 2 gives me 10.
Fine. So on a 7+, pick one of these opportunities. 10+, pick 2. You open a portal, so you're able to get through that first layer of physical security. But what else do you want out of that success? You circumvent or control an aspect of the security system. You get the answer to a question about the location system or the stored data. You set something up that is triggered when you say so. You get some other benefit as long as the GM agrees it's reasonable.
I think probably the best one is I control an aspect of it. So this sort of like powered gate. I've got a daemon running in it now. So I could sort of control it maybe when we need to leave.
So
the one below it was quite good, as in show me the exact location of the data store, but we got to get there anyway. So I don't want to.
So you control this first layer of security.
Yeah.
So first layer is physical, but it's in your pocket. Remember that, because I won't. Nesta, what's the second layer of security here? We've had a portal that McPatrick has spoofed. What's the next challenge?
I think it might just be a layer of security we already. Could it be people?
It could be people.
Yeah, so it's people.
I suppose what I'm trying to do here is to give each of you an opportunity to play into your particular strengths.
Let me check what kind of strength I want to use here. Okay. Yeah. I think there are just there are security guards, I guess. They're like, okay, 3 people, one with power armor. That's kind of weird, right?
So are you leaning into trying to take them out here?
Yeah.
Or are you leaning into using your daredevilish just do it to find a way around them?
I think I would like to just find a way around them.
Okay. So that requires you to say what you do, and then are using your personal coordination and stuff, or are you reassuring the others that if they just follow you, it'll be fine?
I would actually like to use. I would like to have an action scene, right? Like some kind of fight, without having to actually take them out. Maybe.
Well, take them out. You define their condition after you succeed.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll just go with the take them out.
Fine. So when you attack one named NPC or a group of unnamed NPCs, there's a group here. There's 3 of them.
Yeah. Okay, but they're not named.
Say how you try to avoid harm and put them in danger. So what do we see happening in the run-up to this violence?
I think I just walk up to them, like, yeah, this is all totally above board. Well, they're like, hey, who are you guys? And I'm like, yeah, I'm bounty hunter. And they're like, what kind of bounty hunter? Who's your bounty? And when I'm close, nice and close to them, I say, you are.
So that sounds like roll plus force.
Yeah. Let's go for that. Come on. So it's a 7, it's a 9.
9.
Cool.
On a 9 plus. Sorry, I've lost you. There you are.
Mhm.
On a 9 plus, on a 7. Pardon me. Beg your pardon.
Mhm.
Okay. Each of them is entirely surprised by this and is
Mhm.
instantly disadvantaged.
Cool.
Effect is established is and is this punching them with a powered armor? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I think it's punching them with the powered armor. That's what it's there for.
Okay.
I don't think I need the blade or anything. I just want to take them out.
That makes
So
sense. So this is I can't remember what's the description of that power armor attack. Obvious melee, use force. Yeah, fine. There we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, describe how all of them are taken to disadvantage, and then I'm going to ask the others if they think they can intervene to turn that into a instant takeout.
Wait a minute. Describe how you apply effect established to them, and okay. So yeah, I mean, as I said, I'm in the middle of them, and I'm basically, while they are still a little, they are wary, right? So they're not super surprised, but they probably didn't expect to be punched by a power armor or kicked by a power armor.
They did not, and so we see you just laying into them.
Yeah.
Now, does either McPatrick or Rillisk want to intervene to turn that 7 to 9 into a 10 plus? Because at the moment we are looking at a consequence on Nesta.
Yeah, I think maybe this is like, because we've come in through the main portal and then we've gone down like a side area, and it's like a Daredevil corridor fight, with like these 3 guys in an area that's supposed to be off limits to people, and Nesta's and Rillisk is going to as maybe one guy like gets thrown crashing back into the wall with a power armored kick, and he's like standing up and with pulling out his gun. Rillisk is just going to dive on his back and jam the stun pistol into the back of his neck.
So this sounds like acting really quickly to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So roll to aid this crew member with finesse.
Let me just look at how much XP, whether I want to argue for. No, I don't want to argue for force, just because I'm better at finesse, and I'm two XP away from a full one. So I think I'd be hard pressed to get the full range. I am going to.
You can stress the stun pistol to get advantage.
Yes, because I've got Nesta here to deal with any actual fighting. So, I'll stress the stun pistol. And it's a good job I did, because that's a 7.
Wow.
It would have been a 4 otherwise.
Okay, so Nesta turns into a full success. So there's no downside for Nesta in this. They're all disadvantaged. But the consequence for you is you suffer any cost attached to their original outcome. So what was the cost going to be? You and your relevant gear share 1 stress per unnamed NPC. So there are 3 unnamed NPCs here, Rillisk. You have 3 stress to spread between your stun pistol, which is already stressed, and yourself or other relevant gear. So do you want to select some gear and stress it as getting damaged in this fracas?
Yeah. I will stress my.
Doesn't your armor take effect?
Have you got any armor, Rillisk?
If I was carrying it.
Well, you can, because it's not obvious, you can tick it if you want.
You can tick it now.
To be honest,
Yeah,
you're gonna have to tick anything that you stress.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'll carry that, and that would stress my armor.
It would. So the way your armor works is low tech. Protection 1, 2, not applicable. So this is brawling. That's protection. The first one is hand-to-hand stress. The second one is you have to stress to get the protection, and you don't have a third level of protection there. So you automatically are protected against the kind of physical argy-bargy that he tries to inflict on you. So stress it, and then that leaves 2 stress to apply to yourself, I think.
Okay, well, yeah, and I think they may just, it turns into like a fight while Nesta's just taking the other two apart, like a Scrabble, bangs, my head off the wall, and when Rillisk finally gets that stun gun, like right up under his chin and hits it, and he shocks, and like his eyes widen, and he goes, Rillisk! And I recognize someone that I once cared for on this station, like a friend of mine who I used to know.
When the crowd. So one of them is stunned. Nesta, the other 2 are disadvantaged. McPatrick, do you want to take advantage of the disadvantage in order to complete the taking out?
If I have a 10, why didn't I take them out?
Because I've changed it. Because what I was finding was that in the same way that plan was ending scenes, take it out was to ending them a bit quickly. So they're disadvantaged at this. An unnamed NPC needs to have another hit in order. If they're disadvantaged, another hit takes them out. So I'm going to go to McPatrick first and then come back to you, hopefully with 1 left. So McPatrick, what are you thinking?
I'm going to blast him with my shotgun.
Why mess about? So let's have you, when violence erupts, roll plus. It's force for a shotgun, isn't it?
Yeah, shotgun is weird. It's force for a shotgun.
Yeah.
If they're disadvantaged, does he get to roll with advantage?
Oh, he does, because they're disadvantaged. Yeah. Sorry, well spotted.
So should have Dr. Rillisk, right?
Indeed.
Okay.
3 dice. Here we go.
I'm going to unstress my pistol.
Yeah, unstress the pistol. I think that's fair.
13.
7 plus. Your target suffers a consequence depending on your weapon. A firearm takes them out instantly. So that one's gone. And on a 10 plus, the consequence they suffer increases. So describe the mess.
Without being too describing, I think it's a headshot. I did tick gore, actually. I always love a bit of gore. Let's have a good splat on the wall. Clearly camera just looking at the wall for the splat. We can't show somebody's head, but I think we get a good idea of what's. So does that sort of pass on to the other guy as well? Is it a 2v?
No, that's
no.
Not.
Okay, yeah.
Syllabi. Nesta, one of them remains. They're at disadvantage. What do you do?
Yeah, subtlety's out of the window now, I guess. So I'll just get the rifle and shoot it at him.
Fine. So
activate the rifle, the compact, close, hidden, and suppressive fire rifle. And shoot them with it.
2d6. They're disadvantaged. 3d6. Do your thing.
I'm doing my thing. It's with force, right? Or is that finesse?
No, that's finesse.
That's finesse. That's okay. That is actually not that bad. So it's 7, it's an 8.
8. Consequence of your success, they'd go down. But I think in all of that, I'm going to give you 1 stress as a consequence of that 7 to 9.
And can I take that as a stress, please?
Yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
And then you kind of, now the clock is ticking, because there are bodies. One of them is stunned and may recover. The others are dead. One of them very obviously so. And so I think probably now I see you hurrying. Not enough to be obvious, but enough to try and get this job done. It is a couple of minutes to the hour. I'm going to suggest we take our first break now.
Yeah.
And come back for 5 past the hour. Yeah?
Yeah.
I'll see you then. Restart. So I think that when we come back from our commercial break, we see all 3 of you. That kind of accelerated walking has broken into running now that alarms have begun to sound, given that you left quite a mess back there.
Oh,
And
it occurs to me, Rillisk may know of abandoned or unexplored zones of the Steel Moon that we could use to traverse the. If you're willing to, if you want to use the explore move this session.
well, far be it for me to engineer the opportunity to use a move that I rewrote after last time, but why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that probably there is a point where you stop running in a straight line and you start looking for ways to get away from this pursuit. And then I think there is an inspection panel that I see you levering away and leading the others down, explaining just what you said, which is that in order to avoid the pursuit, you need to get off these corridors, and the way to do that is to go down into the moon.
Yes, to traverse some of these tunnels haven't been touched since the plasma surge of give off whatever year it is, minus 50 or 60.
Well, a generation ago.
Yeah, generations, wiped out the whole work crew. But I'm sure it won't happen this time.
What is this thing?
Well, that's what we're all here to find out, isn't it? I believe with what we were all working towards, this was a great gate, a unique ancient artifact that it was perhaps the route back to humanity's distant homeworld. We didn't all sprout out across the cluster like spontaneously. We must have come from somewhere. But I believe that this may in fact be why the splintered reach is quite so splintered. It might be a weapon of some sort.
Oh, wow. I mean, we already started to get some seeds to some colony in that. Yeah,
Are you telling me, Doc, that you've actually never been down here? That the furthest you ever got was the surface?
Oh, no. There are different points all over. We've got quite far in other areas. This one just has somewhat...
Keep saying we. How about you? Have
Me?
you been down here?
Not down this corridor.
Have you been inside the moon?
Oh, yes, many times.
But not from here.
Not from here, but there's a logic to it. I'm sure I can... Yes.
Filling me with confidence, Doc. You're filling me with confidence.
It's fine. If anything goes wrong, it'll be over so quickly that none of us will know about it.
Reminds me of back home. I've heard this many a time from a smuggler. Claims they know the way around the Iron Wreath. Only to smash into an asteroid and you never see him again.
In this case, it's more of a high-energy conduit. But yes.
Well, it seems to me then that we are, when you are the first member of the crew to enter an abandoned or unexplored zone of a ship, habitat, or ancient artifact, describe your approach. So do you use brute force and ignorance, Dr. Rillisk, or do you send somebody else ahead? That's an interesting... Are you taking the lead?
No, I do this. I'm taking the lead. It's,
Question, are you sure you want to take the lead? Because something could come at you and you're not wearing power armor. I am, so I don't know.
Oh, there's not been a sighting of a servitor unit in 3 generations.
Oh, that fills me with confidence, to quote Chris here. Sure, go ahead. Please don't die.
Brute force and ignorance, swiftly because the clock is running, trying to avoid notice, or considering your options, Dr. Rillisk?
I think this is swiftly to get this over with, to be perfectly honest with you, because time is ticking.
Roll plus finesse.
Yes, and I am going to... I'm going to stress my data tablet, I think. And I think it's because my data tablet is filled with Rillisk's notes and previous studies and, previous incursions into the thing.
Makes sense to me. You get to roll with advantage then.
Oh, 6. Perhaps someone could aid me.
I'm not sure that we have fictional positioning here for
Okay.
anyone to aid you, to be honest.
Okay, fair enough. I'm
Because
fine.
this was very much built on your interpretation of the data you've collected.
Yes, true.
So honor 6 minus. As for 7 to 9, but the GM describes an additional challenge. Okay.
I mean, perhaps violence catches unaware and disadvantage. Maybe there is one of those servitor units.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. I don't think I copied the revised version. Oh, there it is, down at the bottom. Yeah. 7 to 9, 6, 0. Right. So 7 to 9 options. There's an
We didn't write a 6.
No, we didn't. We didn't.
No, I think your idea was to keep the 6s as they are.
Yeah, hang on. I have written this. I just haven't written it where I can see it. Hang on. Yeah, there we go. Hang on. Let me just copy this across. Sorry about that. I thought I'd done the thinking, but I hadn't done the writing. Okay. Hang on a moment. There you go. It's down. It's near the explore move. But I need to make it a bit bigger. Oh, hang on. This is odd. Sorry, I'm making a mess of this. Should have thought about this before, shouldn't I? Basic moves. And Control V. Here we go. There's the revision. And let me just check. I've got all of it. Yeah, I think that's all of it. Okay. There. Just need to make that bigger. Okay, right. So it's now down adjacent to the original move, because I'm not going to waste time now trying to fit it into that space. Okay, so on a 6 minus, things do not work out. The GM describes the cost of your failure. You suffer 1 emotional stress due to gore, bodies, body parts, or a backstory flashback. Oh, backstory flashback, Dr. Rillisk. Something terrible happened here that meant that your overreach and ambition cost people, I think. Is that not the case? I'm trying to remember your backstory.
Yes, yeah. My backstory is I was working on here and I discovered what it was for, and I went with my concerns, and they killed everybody.
They did. They did. And this is the first time you've been back in since. So would you take an emotional stress, please? Do you have a lucky charm or anything that might defend you against an emotional cost like that? No, far too rational. Yeah, this is really not good. And McPatrick's concerns are emphasized by the fact that there is a waist-high fog down here, which is just condensation. It's, the temperature variations down here are odd. You don't need to worry about it, Chris. But nonetheless, there is this dense fog up to your waists, which, as you make your way through, kind of swirls almost like a fluid. Dr. Rillisk is looking a bit shaken, Nesta. Do you want to take the lead from here?
Yeah, I mean, why not? Because something could be hiding in this fog.
They could. So
Right.
Does this suggest you are taking extra time to consider the options of attack from below? Or are you bullying your way through?
What do you think? We don't have time for me to consider stuff, right? Because if I start thinking, that takes a while.
So you are instilling confidence by just bullying your way through. So roll plus force.
I mean, yeah. Wow. Okay, we're not getting anywhere. That's a 5.
Oh my! Oh my! McPatrick, what do you do when something begins to appear? It's as though the fog is taking a form.
Ooh, nice.
What do you do? McPatrick. Looks like a mound. It's ahead of you. It's mounding up against any kind of logic of gravity.
Well, you know, investigate later, shoot first. Now the shotgun's got knocked down, so I'm going to try and blast it.
Okay, let's have you roll plus force with the shotgun.
So rolling with +1. Oh, I rolled a 6 +1. Gives me that 7 though.
Ooh.
Okay, so on a 7 for when violence erupts, and there's doing a lot of that so far. On a 7, your target suffers a consequence dependent on your weapon. This is cost and harm, firearms. You would have taken out an unnamed NPC, but this one, it just blows this fog into pieces. Now, what are you going to do with the time this buys you, McPatrick?
Well, I'm going to shout to Nestor and Doctor. They're coming out of the mist. Get clear. And
so you running forward, McPatrick?
Yes, I will.
Lead by example?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So McPatrick is running, blew this apart, and it settles down again, and he's running away. Rillisk and Nestor, do you follow him? Yeah, Rillisk certainly is. Nestor, are you going to follow McPatrick?
I think I got caught a little flat-footed, right, with the failure before.
Yeah.
But there's something that you can blast. I just hear.
Yeah, but he did that. He blew this mound of the fog away,
okay.
And it's now settled flat. And he's taking this as an opportunity to try and put some distance.
Okay. I see. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'll keep the rear guard up though.
Fine, McPatrick. I think this is roll plus finesse, swiftly to get out of here. Let's have you roll to explore with finesse, please. See whether this generates. At some point, someone has to get more than a 7, surely.
Now you jinxed it. You know that.
Yeah, okay. So I think I'm rolling at -1, so I'm going to need some kind of advantage here. So I will quickly don my AR glasses and let loose my drone. And of course, it's got pass through because you know that's what it does. Behind me, folks.
That's fine. I love that. Go for it. Roll, stress it, and roll with advantage.
I rolled a 3 and a 4, so still only 7 -1, 6. That's not good.
Holy mother of God!
Yeah, in this instance, someone help him though?
I think somebody could help him in this instance.
Okay.
You're in the rear guard, so I think it's down to Rillisk, given the fiction. Rillisk, is there anything you can do to stop McPatrick blundering into something?
You know, I've been here before. I've been in these places before. I can warn him of my knowledge of this place, my understanding of the Steel Moon.
Two kind of exits. This sounds like roll plus sharp.
Yeah. That's a 9.
9. 7 plus their outcome improves by 1, so you get to 7 to 9 for that, McPatrick, on the explore. But the consequence comes your way, Rillisk. And Rillisk, I think that you shout at McPatrick, you go left, which he does, and we'll resolve that in a moment. But I think, Rillisk, you become aware that this mounding in the fog is mounding beside you and moving parallel to you. And you swear that there's a voice in your head. I'll come back to that in a moment. McPatrick, explore on 7 to 9. You pick, McPatrick. You find salvage worth 1 wealth. Well, I think that's probably unlikely in this context. You find someone or something of narrative interest, or you find a route to the next zone.
It's really got to be a route to the next zone.
Want to escape the fog? Yeah. 7 to 9. The GM says how your success is complicated. I think that you must take the risk to complete your success. In order to get to the exit that Rillisk has demonstrated, you need to make a jump, because it's clear that this fog kind of flows away into some kind of crevice, chasm, whatever, some shaft going down. So I think you need to take the risk to leap across, McPatrick, which sounds like I'd go with force or finesse unless you've got a better offer for me.
No, I think this is sort of like pounding along this sort of walkway and literally just leaping, hoping that I can grab on.
Make it. Go for it.
Rolling at +1. 6 + 1, 7.
7 to take a risk. You do get
Only I
across.
had the jetpack.
If only you brought the jetpack. Just when you think it's safe to go back in the water. Describes the cost. I think the cost is 1 stress, McPatrick, emotional stress, because this is freaky. Rillisk, you got lumbered with that 6 on the explore move.
Mhm.
And there's a voice in your head, and it says, bring anything you find to us. And I will tell you now that that voice you recognize. It is the voice of one of the unified mind that you owe a debt to.
Okay.
Now, your response here is, she's asking you to do something. You already owe them a debt. So you can do what they ask and erase a debt you owe them on completion, or refuse the request and accrue another debt to them and expect them to make life difficult for you. Now, this would mean that you would not be taking this, whatever you find, back to your RGA handler.
I'll take another debt from the unified mind.
Fine. If
No.
you mark that on your character sheet, I will note that the unified mind is going to make things difficult for you. For Rillisk. Okay. McPatrick, your jump demonstrates to the others that they can do it too. Rillisk and Nesta make the leap behind you, and you leave that peculiar glutinous fog behind you. But I will ask you, McPatrick, as you make your way further through the Steel Moon, there are signs that some of the Maintenance Guild have been here before. What signs do you see?
I think we can see their equipment, their monitoring equipment, sort of like cabling. It clearly doesn't fit in with whatever built the Steel Moon. But yeah, there's definitely Maintenance Guild equipment here. Yeah, bits of scaffolding. Yeah,
Dusty, unused. But as you step into this area of the Steel Moon, the lights they installed will flicker on, providing you with some illumination. Who's going to lead from here? Nestor, given what's happened already, do you feel that you are happy to trust Rillisk and McPatrick? Or do you feel you should now just make your way through this next zone?
I will make the case that I should maybe lead on because, I mean, power armor, right?
And this does not seem to be as simple and straightforward as perhaps Dr. Rillisk had in
Yeah,
mind.
yeah, exactly. So let
So
me go
again,
first.
is this bullying your way through, or
Of course it is. Of course, what else
I thought you
would
might
I
want. I
do?
thought you might be wanting to avoid notice. I don't know. So let's have you roll plus force then.
Yeah, I'm having power armor and I'm sneaking. That seems like no. I'm just doing that here. I'm marking these two maybe. Yeah, look at that. That's a 9.
Wow, about time.
Yeah.
7 plus. Pick one. Salvage worth 1 wealth. So there might be something here that you could pick up from the Maintenance Guild's leftover equipment nester that would be worth 1 wealth if you could get it out, someone or something of narrative interest, or a route to the next zone.
I think we want to get somewhere, right? This is not where we want to get. So I think, yeah, looks shiny. Let's go.
Okay.
Unless somebody says, no, we need to look at the shiny thing. But I don't think
7 to 9, the GM says how your success is complicated. The environment places every crew member in the scene at disadvantage. I think that it's going to be dark in the next zone. And so, though you will flick on your personal kind of Nestor will have built-in lights. The rest of you have some way of illuminating the way forward. But it's kind of, flickering torchlight rather than illumination proper. Rillisk, that was a strange experience. Do you feel you've recovered enough to proceed and take the lead?
Yes, mechanically. How long, what's the outcome of the exploration move to get us to the point?
I am very happy for find a route to the next zone to be the way out.
Yeah.
Back up to the other level. I have penciled in a rule that says it is the scale of this thing plus 1 zone. So there are 7 zones that you would need to traverse until you could breach the core of the steel moon.
Kind of imagining that what we're getting to is like a data conduit that's not under full guard because it's routed through the steel moon and we can rip stuff out of it, but yeah, okay, I will lead the way.
How do you lead the way?
Stagger, put my hand up against one of these strange glistening walls with weird architect built into all of them, and so wait, and there's the passage.
Can I make a suggestion? What is odd is that as you move through this, the walls become textured, and there are clearly indentations cut into the wall. It becomes almost mineral rather than smooth metal.
Yes, yeah. I'm going to do it with sharp because I think this is like we've run pell-mell through here, and now it's a chance. Now it's time to take a deep breath and work it out.
Exactly. Let's have you roll plus sharp.
That's 10.
Makes all the difference, doesn't it? When you just pause and think about it. That looks like more than 10 to me. That looks like 11 plus.
Oh, well, no, the dice changed once they rolled. Yeah, so luckily they changed in a good way for once.
They did. They did. Don't we love this dice roller? On a 10 plus, you either pick again from the 7 plus list, so you're going to pick something from 7 plus, but you've got a second pick or gain advantage on your next action.
Could I take 2, find the next zones?
Oh, I see what you mean. So move on and move on.
Yeah.
Fine. You move on to an area where the temperature is much warmer. And then beyond that, do you want this to be a way out, or do you want it to be into the next zone? Because that would mean that you would then be in the 5th zone of the steel.
If at the end of these 7 zones we can come to a place where we can complete our objective, that seems as good to me as, or if we leave now and we're at a place where I can basically I just want to get onto the stealing the data,
Okay. Stay on, keep the mission in mind. That works for me. As I said, we've got about 30 minutes to our next break, and after that break, I will want to move us into exfiltration and escape.
Yeah, which is why I want to get to the objective.
Okay. So I say again, increased temperature. Do you want to move on to the next zone of the moon, or do you want to find a way back up to civilization, inverted commas?
Again, I suppose my question is, which one of those is?
Well, if you head back to civilization, that will bring you up within striking distance of the Maintenance Guild's data cores.
Then that's where I'm going. Yeah.
Okay, fine. So that increasing temperature leads you to a place where there is a shaft going up, and that is the route that you're able to take. There's no downside to that on a 10 plus. Everything is good. So Rillisk is leading you up, McPatrick. What are you thinking at the moment? Or what, let's have you have a conversation with Nesta, because I'm curious what the pair of you are making of all of this. So as you're making your way up this shaft, what conversation are you having with Nesta?
I'm not too sure the doctor's really that knowledgeable about this place, or a hell of a lot's changed.
Up ahead of you saying, yeah, this is the way, this is the way.
I mean, he's been right a few times, but he's not always right.
No, I mean, but she's the best person we got for this, right? I mean, I'm totally lost. So I guess
but you trust the doctor. That's what's important.
I trust that she wants to get off this moon and be paid, yeah. That's what I trust.
Okay, that's good enough for me.
And so we see then you back to this, and again, this is a retrofitted maintenance guild ladder, which again hasn't been used for a long time. There's signs of rust and certain uncertain rungs, certain places where it's not as secured into this rocky wall as this textured wall as you might have hoped. But it is what it is. Let me just see whether the Iron Moon wants to exert any final challenge to you. 2, 5, 5, 2. Yeah, it's really strange. You go up through this conduit, and the space opens up. The ladder continues, but it opens up into this enormous cathedral-like space that it seems odd. You don't think you went down far enough for a space this large to be encompassed in the skin, between the skin where the maintenance guild has its hold and where you got to. It's just strange. Now I'm just going to ask Dr. Rillisk whether that makes any difference to their decision.
No,
Eye on the prize.
Yeah, eyes on the prize. There are many strange structures within the Steel Moon. If we knew how they'd made it, then we wouldn't have worked on it for generations.
You get to the point where you're going to re-emerge into the structures, the maintenance guild structures. Who's going to take the risk of stepping out from the moon into that bit of the maintenance guild structures? I saw Nesta looks up as though take me.
Yeah, I mean, come on. If I get shot, I get shot. It's still probably not gonna kill me.
Is this bursting forth through this
No.
access way?
No.
Is this sneaking in shady?
Yeah.
Roll plus shady.
I'm trying to look before I jump.
Okay.
Even though I'm not very good at that, but come on, guys, be nice to me. That's an 8, so yeah.
And I think that is the strange thing. You reach this conduit and you are looking down into a corridor. How did you end up in the ceiling of the maintenance guild structure after climbing up from below it?
I'll leave the explanation to Dr. Rillisk.
I just want to doff my hat to Rillisk's gravity peculiarities suggestion from early on.
Yeah.
So it is literally look up, down, before you jump into that corridor. Let's have you roll to take the risk. With Shady, what did you get?
I got an 8.
An 8, fine. So on 7+, you are successful. I tell you what, do you want to use the Daredevil move for this? Because this is an odd situation. Do you want to apply that?
What kind of move? What kind of move?
You've got to just do it when you face a physical obstacle challenge or risk.
Yeah, okay. Yes. Yeah? Yep, then I'm doing that.
So 7 to 9. 7+, what does your success look like? You get somewhere hard to reach, you take
Wait, no,
something
I
by surprise?
can't do that with Shady. And I was doing it with
No, you
Shady.
can't.
I
You
wanted
want to
to
do it
be
with Shady.
circumspect.
Fine,
So
fine. No, that makes sense. Thanks for that. So that works fine. I think that the only cost is that you're not entirely certain, Rillisk, where you are. This exit has brought you out in this very peculiar way. How can this ladder up end up coming down? So I think that the consequence here is that you're not entirely certain where you are, Rillisk. How are you going to work out where you are, Rillisk?
I theorize.
I think you are going to hypothesize about this, aren't you?
Yes. Can I use my fringe theories?
I think I would let you use your fringe theories because this is weird.
Yeah.
This is not an experience you've had in the moon before.
Yeah. And I'm hypothesizing that it'll behave in a predictable way in the sense that we'll be able to work a path from here.
Yes.
Know where we are.
It's a question: do I turn right or turn left at in this corridor? So let's
yeah,
do
and
this
it's
way.
again, I'm going to be looking at my data tablet and getting various readings of the structures around us and everything, and comparing that to what I know previously. And so I'll be plus sharp.
Do that.
And I already stressed my data tablet in that fight, so it's cracked screen. 12 boxcars.
Oh wow! Who needs to stress stuff? 7+. The GM will provide you with information relative to your hypothesis, and you're at an advantage to exploit it. No downside. So you know why. You know where. Yeah. So if the data conduits in the ceiling are running that way, then we need to go this way.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
And soon you are back in where you hope to be.
Yes, having basically gone right under the noses of the entire maintenance guild, which is probably got some sort of what happened to our 3 guards down in that tunnel.
Exactly. We know that something happened down there, but we can't find those intruders, and they're looking in the wrong place anyway. So McPatrick, you are within striking distance of the data cores that Rillisk tells you need to reach. Is it time for a plan?
I think we need a plan. We need a plan. Who's going to do what going forward? So
when you name the crew involved, which can include you, in a plan you have agreed with the GM, and the plan mostly relies on. So what's the plan, McPatrick?
I think this is to be very under the radar. Get in there, get what we need. They may already be looking for us, so we just need to blend in, get this stuff, and walk out of here.
So what's the role of any named members in this then? Because this sounds like stealth, distraction, and or lies.
I think.
Oh, Nestor might have a suggestion.
Go ahead, Nestor. What role do you want?
I got grenades, just saying, so could figure that into your plan, maybe.
Okay, that doesn't sound anything like stealth and distraction, but we can rehash the plan.
It could be distraction.
Fine. We can change the plan.
It could be distraction.
Yeah, that's a damn good idea. And I think the doctor needs to go in and get, because the doctor should know what data we need. To me, it's just zeros and ones.
Yeah.
So I think that's the plan.
So just so I understand what you're setting up,
we get in. We get in. Rillisk extracts the item, and Nestor creates a distraction for us to escape.
In sequence, you need to get in, and escaping's a different question, right? So you need to get to the data store. So what I thought I heard was that Nestor creates a distraction using the grades. Rillisk is going to be stealthed in. What's your role, McPatrick?
Well, to be honest, I actually am quite good at removing data. I'm probably
you are. You are the hacker.
Yeah. So definitely, we're going to go with Nestor with a distraction with the grenades. I think sort of what can the doctor do?
Rillisk, tell me what the barriers are. That clearly there's going to be people, and we're hoping the grenades are going to distract them. So what's the other thing?
I kind of thought the whole point of us going through the Steel Moon was to come into areas where they weren't under observation and monitoring. I had presumed that the whole sequence of events leading up to this was the infiltration into the data store.
Okay, well, I think this got you within striking distance.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if not, I'm more than happy just to roll
no,
investigator.
Let's pick up where we left off. The reason you went down was to avoid the disadvantage you're going to face doing this while pursued. So you are not being pursued. But I think there needs to be a way to engage all of you somehow in the scene that gets McPatrick the chance to hack the system.
For McPatrick to be able to hack the system, and exfiltrate that data is going to require me building some sort of interface to, to get him access to them.
Yeah, I mean, I do like one of your skills. You can find a flaw or a weakness. That sounds really handy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what I think I'm hearing is that we are going to use Nestor to distract any, attention, and this involves Nestor going off, round that corner and down that passageway in order to set off some grenades. It involves Rillisk having to use the engineering kit to gain access to the data core.
Yeah.
And that will, if the plan goes well, this means that Chris ends up in a position where he can use his crackit to get some data. Fair enough?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think I understand what the plan is. Let's see how it goes, shall we? So let's have you roll your plan. And I think this is fairly stealthy, misdirection, distraction. Roll plus shady, McPatrick.
6 and a 3 plus 2, 11. There we go. That's what we want.
7 plus. Say how your plan ensures the named crew will have advantage when they take action to and then pick 2. This sounds like suppress the target's ability to cause stress is what the grenades are going to do. Yeah?
Yeah.
And if I've heard this allows you to reach a particular location or position in the scene.
Yes, we definitely want to, while they're distracted, we're going to go through
and that's where Rillisk does what Rillisk does, and then we're into the plan is worked, and then we can use your hacking skill.
10 plus, yeah, I mean, it got to, so the advantage extends to 3 rather than 2 actions.
Yes. So what's the third one you want?
I don't really want them pursuing us.
Fine. Yeah. So you are gonna you find a way to avoid them. Maybe that's what the grenades do as well.
Oh, there's the grenades are not just like noise and whatever, right? What Nestor's going to set those grenades off is going to create a crisis for them to respond to over there. So all hands will be busy dealing with
all hands on deck,
allowing us to leg it, basically.
I like that. So McPatrick, this can't go wrong, surely. Nestor has advantage to both distract any defenses and to hold them in place so they can't pursue you. So Nestor, let's start with you. Roll with advantage. I'll give you the choice. Is this taking a risk with the grenades, or is it? I think it's more taking a risk than violence erupting, because you're not actually looking to kill anyone.
No. I'm looking to place them where Dr. Rillisk said I was supposed to place them, to maybe take out one of the gravity generators.
So let's have. I mean, so does that sound like using reason plus sharp? Does this sound like how does that play in terms of the stat you're going to roll to take this risk?
I'm afraid I'm gonna have to roll this with smart, right? Because if I roll this just with force, I might blow up myself or our route of escape. And I have to concentrate on what she told me, where these generators actually were, and then I have to place them where they're actually going to cause the maximum damage without blowing myself up.
Okay, let's have you roll plus sharp, but with
Okay.
advantage because the
Well,
plan
yeah.
has worked. You
Yeah.
are in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, it's a 10.
I mean, how good is that? That works
Yeah.
perfectly. So sirens
Yes.
go off. From a point of observation, Rillisk and McPatrick, you can see people leaving the vicinity of the data store. You can see, Rillisk, that damage control teams will be flooding that area away from you lot. So, Rillisk, what do you have to construct then in order to get us to the data store? What's the thing you need to make?
I think I'm going to go with Paul's suggestion in his plan of it actually being a hypothesize, a flaw or weakness,
Okay.
to identify this crucial nexus by which, all data is routed on its way back to these redundant backups, allowing us to take exactly what we want rather than have to find a specific server or something,
Brilliant. Go on.
Again, that'll be analyzing the data with my tablets. So that'll be plus sharp. That is a 9.
Most fun thing. On a 9, 7 plus. I will provide you the information. I think that information is going to put McPatrick at advantage when he comes to hack the system.
Oh, I was at advantage, wasn't I, actually?
You were at advantage.
Yeah. Let me roll the dice.
Re-roll the 4.
Then that's a 10 plus. There we go.
There you go. So that's even better. McPatrick, you're going to have the benefit of that answer. There is a way into this that Rillisk has spotted for you. Plug in there. Let's have you plug in there.
Not there. There.
Roll plus sharp, McPatrick, to hack a system.
8.
8. 7 plus. Pick one. I think this is you get the answer to a question about the location system or stored data.
Yes.
Yeah. So you have the evidence that you needed. 7 to 9. You're detected. Either take emotional stress or accept that they know who and where you are and that retribution is on its way.
I think they know where we are. I have a good picture of if you can give me share.
I can, I think. Hang on, more. Share. Oh, where's that? Multiple participant. There you go. That should work. Can you share now?
Yes. I want to share a window. Why can't I see that? Brave browser, Art, Logitech. Yes, just share the desktop. That helped. I think this is the creature or person that we see down here. I've put it in there as a tech priest.
Okay.
Don't want to really stand on anything that because this is Rillisk's area.
It is.
These have never been seen by the likes of me. This is not the people I normally see of the maintenance guilds. This is some deep. I will stop sharing, and a sort of a raspy voice comes out.
Fair enough. So they know you're here and they're going to come after you shortly. Yes. So,
Yes.
But you still have advantage, that third advantage from the plan. They are distracted. Rillisk, just to try and tie some stuff together, when you see that creature, over the top of it, you see this woman superimposed. She is the member of the Unified Mind who you owe now 2 debts to. And she is making life difficult for you because she has prompted this modified member of the guild to return from the emergency and spot you, all 3 of you together, as McPatrick extracts the data you need. McPatrick, Nesta, Rillisk, I'll start with Nestor. Nestor, what do you do when that creature, because I can't describe it as a man, that modified
Um,
member of the Maintenance Guild, um, comes around the corner, prompted by the unified mind to make life difficult for Rillisk? What do you do, Nestor?
I guess. I mean, that looks like someone who belongs here, right? And they don't look too friendly.
They don't.
Then I shoot them. That makes it easy.
Okay, so this sounds like you're going to try and take them out.
I think I'd rather just shoot them.
So
Because I take them
violence,
out, then everybody else gets advantage and somebody else has to shoot them and take damage through that action. So that is
fine.
not exactly what I want to do. I want
Straight
to,
through, straightforward
yeah,
violence erupts.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Using finesse, ranged weapon. This is a major NPC, so this is not a mook.
Okay, so this is let me check the move here. That's where is the proper one? When violence erupts. Engage a named target, attack close and personal, and blah blah blah. I think I just want to shoot them with my ranged weapon. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay, let's do that thing then.
And can I stress my weapon to disadvantage?
You can.
I will do
can.
that right now.
Or pull up another piece of equipment that you could stress that would allow you to do that. I can't remember what you chose to bring with you.
I've got the grenades. I think they're spent though.
Grenades are spent. I think.
Yeah.
Put a stress in them.
Yeah, I put a stress in them. I also well, I don't have enough guns, but I got a lucky charm. So let's roll this. Yes, that's a 14.
Oh my. So on basic move, 7+. Your target suffers a consequence dependent on your weapon. You are using firearms. So for a named PC, they are disadvantaged. Okay. And there's no 7 to 9 that comes back to bite you. 10 pence, the consequence they suffer increases by 1 step. So they are also wounded and take cover.
Okay.
So they duck back around the corner. If you hit them again, they will be taken out. So Nestor has bought you some time, Rillisk. What's the quickest way out?
The quickest way out is the airlock. Is that a thing that we can do? I mean, I don't know if we can declare that we had our vac suits, like folded up.
I'm prepared for you to have your emergency vac suits on underneath your work clothes, so to speak.
Yeah.
I just need to make sure everyone. Unfortunately, McPatrick has already declared 3 things.
Well, I wonder if I might be able to make something here, perhaps.
I think everybody's used 3 bits of gear, haven't they?
Yeah.
Because we've had the grenades, the rifle, and the armor.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
You've had the stun pistol, the armor, and the data tablet.
Yeah, we've all got 3 bits ticked. Yeah.
I think you're all screwed into. I think constructing 3 spacesuits from.
No, I was thinking more along the lines of there being some sort of
escape pod.
Like maybe like an elevator, like turning something into an escape pod.
I think certainly there is an option here to make a route from here back to the ship.
Yeah.
I think let's avoid having to create some kind of vacuum sealed structure. Let's have you find a way to that maintenance port next to the ship.
There is cargo haulers, like a small railway, monorail type things that run along like magnetic pulses. And if I can co-opt those, then I can we just grab onto it and it'll pull us up through the structure back towards.
I go for that. This sounds like brute force an immediate solution.
Yes, yeah, entirely, yeah.
Roll plus force.
Do your last tick as well?
Yes, I did. Yeah, that was what I was going for.
Any
Can I
way to get
stress my
advantage?
Can I stress my pistol to say that I expend all of the charges
No.
overflowing it? Then no, I don't have enough to do it. Yeah.
You're
Well,
going to have to rely on aiding an ally if this goes pear-shaped.
that's an 8.
8. 7 plus, you succeed. Gain advantage to exploit the change you've made.
Mm-hmm.
7 to 9. GM says what your success costs you. A different feature characteristic is also added or removed. You or your relevant tools are stressed. You have to cannibalize or damage something. Your work is very temporary. Then it will fail or the scene return. Okay, I think that this is you and your relevant tools are stressed. So do you have an engineering kit of any kind with you?
Nope, because I did tablet armor and pistol.
And they're all already stressed.
No, the pistol's not stressed, so it could be that I have to, take out the power pack and use that to do something.
Yes, that would work for me. So stress the pistol, but you and your relevant tools are stressed. You take another stress.
Okay, that's not the cannibalize option then.
Oh yeah, go on then. Yeah, fair enough. No, I'm using you and your
No,
relevant
I'm
tools
just
are
checking.
stressed. Yeah,
Just checking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I take another point of stress, which fills up my stress boxes entirely.
There you go. Okay. But yes, I see you all hanging on for grim death as this monorail whisks you up to the cargo bay.
Magna Rail, thank you.
Magna Rail, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
And drops you next to the Fortitude.
Cool.
Nesta, what's the reaction of you dropping down to the... Do people ignore you? Because there are fire alarms going off, because there's somewhere in the bowel, somebody blew up something.
I mean, somebody might shout something like, we need fire suppression in cargo area, something, and it's probably better if Rillisk does that than if I do that, because I have no fucking idea what kind of cargo thing.
Okay.
If somebody makes trouble, I will aid and intimidate them.
Well, I think that's interesting, because it does seem to me that while alarms and explosions go off, someone in power armor drops from an unexpected direction into the kind of docking bay. So I think you are best placed to take the risk of this turning nasty. But what I think I hear you saying is that you want to
in which case
discourage
yeah.
by your presence.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'll offer you an option here.
Cool.
Is it shady to make it look like you're not a problem? Or is it sincere to flick up the faceplate and give them that look that says, you do not want to mess with me. I really mean this.
I mean, that's force, right? I want to intimidate them to get out of my fucking way.
I think this is aggression. This therefore is going towards them and scattering them. Yeah? Let's have you do that.
Yeah, like go away. Take care of this problem now. Why are you loitering around here?
Do that thing.
Okay. Let's go. Wait a minute. Can I stress something? I could stress my power armor.
You could.
To intimidate them? I mean,
Yeah.
sure, it's kind of intimidating thing, right? So I will do that.
Turn on its emergency lights, if nothing else.
Yeah. It's a 10.
Oh, it's a 10. Just as well you did that, isn't it? 10 plus, fine. They scatter. You have the option to leave the station. Yeah?
Let's do that.
Who jumps into the pilot's, Fortitude's pilot's couch?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's have you roll cut, because when you push maneuverability to avoid a collision, debris, or otherwise thread the needle, i.e., make speed out of here. Just, flip it on its edge and just hit the drive.
Yeah, I mean, this is no different from dodging asteroids in the Iron Reef. So, I'm well used to this.
Roll +1.
2d6 plus 1. 6 plus 1, 7.
Ooh. 7 plus you succeed. 7 to 9. It's a rocky ride. Split 3 harm between.
Strap in, guys.
Between crew and controls. How do you want to split the stress, McPatrick?
Crew goes on the people, doesn't it?
Yes.
Uh, does it go to all of them,
Oh,
or can somebody
you can split it any which way you like.
Yeah,
Currently, Rillisk is at
sorry
3
about this,
stress.
Nestor. I'm going to
Yeah,
shove
it's fine.
all that in your direction. I don't want
That's
to kill the doctor. So
yeah,
actually, I
thank you.
think, yeah, shout about, strap in.
Yeah.
Take it away from there, whatever you want to describe it as, Nestor.
Well, what's good about if is all 3 stress going Nestor's way?
Yeah, because it'll kill the doctor.
Well, no,
Yeah.
what if 1 or 2 goes that way, the power armor will take it.
I'll
Yeah.
take 1 because I've got some armor. Nestor
Mhm.
can have 2.
Yeah,
Fine.
okay.
Fine. And each one of you, therefore, the armor just takes that because
Well,
of its capacity.
cool.
So that works nicely. And the Fortitude is in free space, legging it for the ring gate, I assume. Is that fair?
Yep.
Um,
Pedal to the metal.
what do you do, Rillisk, when you get a signature crop up on sensors?
I pull up the transponder of the signature and try and identify it.
Roll plus sensors. Roll plus 1.
That is an 8.
An 8. 7 plus. You can read a transponder and the GM will answer a question about the target's cause or origin, purpose or value, expected behavior, capacity to do you harm, or current level of alert. I need to know, I think, whether I'm assuming you used active sensors to probe this, or did you just use passive?
Active, because I think that we're so close to the Steel Moon and the Maintenance Guild that we're not able to hide at this point. We are blazing away from it in, obviously suspicious sensors, so there's no point in hiding. Active. And yeah, the question I'd like to ask is Prefect Karthik on board, whatever this is?
No, but Captain Golvan is.
Captain Golvan is the Whisper, finally caught up with us. Yeah.
I'm going to cut your balls off, comes over the comms as Golvan and the Whisper accelerate to intercept. On 7 to 9, active sensors reveal your position and enough about you to put you at disadvantage. So you are running from them you're at disadvantage.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What's the plan, McPatrick? Or Nestor, do you leap to the weapon station?
If no one else does and nobody comes up with a better plan, then sure.
Okay, so Nestor is heading to the weapon station. McPatrick, any thoughts?
Hopefully Nestor can buy us some time, either by slowing them down. I want to burn hard for that ring gate.
Okay, that sounds like when you make a high G burn to outrun or overtake something other than a missile, roll plus drive, McPatrick. So we'll see how that goes in a moment. But Nestor, I think it is fair to say that the Whisper has unleashed a salvo of missiles in your direction.
Oh no.
Are you going to also unleash some missiles on them?
Is there anything else I can do with those weapons?
All you have are... Oh, sorry, that should be a... Oh, no, the weapons... Oh, the missiles are offline. Oh, no. Because you took that damage from the weapon system. So you're rolling plus 1, but with advantage.
Okay.
Do you want to hit him? Try to hit him with your missiles at distance?
What happened right now?
The Whisper is pursuing you.
Yeah, okay.
McPatrick is about to embark on a high G effort to outrun.
Very good.
You are picking up fast movers. Missiles are inbound. You're hoping your PDCs might be able to pick them out when the time comes. But right now, do you want to launch a missile back down the throat of the Whisper?
What's the alternative? Is that
to not do that?
Okay, if I don't do that, then they will damage us.
They will get close enough for you to try to use your PDCs to take those missiles out and hope your armor holds.
No, I think I'm going with try to maybe not to take them out, but to make them a little wary so we can get to
So
put some distance
do you
between
want to
us.
aim those missiles at a particular bit of the ship? Do you want to try and hit their drive, for instance?
I remember trying to do that and it never worked. So
You have advantage.
I have
You do have
advantage.
advantage, yeah.
Fine. It never worked with advantage before. So let's see if it does that, if that happens this
Because
time.
aiming would normally give you disadvantage. So
Yeah,
your targeting
exactly.
array will cancel that
Exactly.
disadvantage. So you'd be roll flat with missiles. Yeah?
Okay,
Do
okay.
your
I
thing.
mean, they're heat seekers. Let's get on it.
Yeah, I'll try my best. Yeah, I thought so. Doesn't work. Obviously not. I told you
It's a pair of
that
ones.
aiming doesn't
I
work.
told you they
Okay.
were shite missiles.
Yeah, no.
So your missiles are inbound,
Mhm,
but they are going to streak by
mhm,
the Whisper. Must have thrown up some countermeasures.
mhm.
Um, but on a 6, you miss and you're at risk of damage. Roll plus armor at disadvantage, Nesta.
Okay.
Your armor is +1, so roll +1, but roll 3 dice, take the bottom 2.
It's a 4.
So 6 minus
Maybe keep
apply.
me away from the weapons in a
Okay,
space fight.
I'm going to apply 1 damage to armor and
Mhm,
then allocate damage to the ship as a whole
mhm.
according to this location, which is 2/6. 2/6 is the shuttle. Who knew? So 1 harm to engineering.
Who knew we even had a shuttle?
You have a shuttle, but it's now not flyable, I guess is what I'm
We
saying.
used to have a shuttle.
Um, there we go. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong way to do that. Okay, there we go. So the shuttle takes a hit, the shuttle bay technically takes a hit.
Mhm.
Rillisk. McPatrick is saying, strap in. I'm going to put the pedal to the metal. Is there anything you want to do before he throws some G in your direction?
Is there anything I can do to fix the weapons?
You could certainly try to fix the weapons.
Yeah, I'll try and fix the weapons.
Okay, so this is using your engineering make or break, I think.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah, and it's almost certainly going to be cannibalizing some other system.
yes, yeah.
Yeah, okay, as a consequence. So let's have you roll the dice on your engineering.
That's a miss.
So a 6 miss.
Yeah, because I think this was be brute forcing an immediate solution rather than
Yeah,
taking
it is.
I need to work out
You
more on.
fail. The GM describes the cost of failure. Let me see if cost is going to give me any
Is there
information.
any way that I could assist her? I'm at the weapons station, so
You're
I
up the
could
weapon
maybe
station. So yeah,
call stuff to her.
I'm
Like,
prepared to let you try.
yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
I've got red lights on.
I'm back on the ship. Could I stress my engineering kit?
You could stress your engineering kit to
Yeah,
to roll a third dice,
yeah. So let's
and
see
then
whether
we'll
that.
come to see whether Nesta wants to improve stuff.
Fair.
yeah,
For one.
okay.
Yeah.
So, do you need an assistance?
I do, yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
rolled a 2, a 3, and a 1 as my
Oh,
dice rolls, so not great.
that's cool. Yeah. So, what?
I think this is sharp
I was
or
afraid to
finesse.
finesse. I'm
Acting
going with
fast or
finesse.
thinking about it.
Oh, I'm acting fast right now. I
I've
don't
got
think
red
we have
lights on conduits B, C,
yeah,
and D.
yeah, yeah. I don't think we have time for me to try to act smart because,
Roll plus finesse.
yeah. Whoa, it's a 10. Look at that.
Look at that on a 10 plus, no downside to you, and risk improves from fail to a mixed success on their engineering make or break. You succeed, gain advantage to exploit the change you've made. So that is going to give you weapons back to 2.
Mm-hmm.
But the 7 to 9 on that is going to be, yeah, cannibalize. Which system on the ship are you going to reduce by 1? You have 1 in sensors, 1 in control. You've just put 2 back into weapons. You've got navcom on 1, drive on 2, security on 1. You could take your internal security systems offline.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. Take off the internal
Uh,
security systems.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. Because hopefully they won't board you. McPatrick, let's have you hit the G then. Roll +2.
There we go. Needs to be good. A 5 and a 1, 8.
8. No, drive is +2.
Oh, yeah, I rolled
6.
5 and a 1,
Oh,
6
so you
plus
did.
2, 8.
8. 7+, you succeed. You are outrunning the Whisper. 7 to 9, sustained high G is hard. Split 3 between crew stress and drive damage.
I'll put 1 stress on me and 1 stress on Nestor.
You could put 2 stress on Nestor. That power armor will still suck it up.
You can still put 3 stress on Nestor because Nestor can take it.
No, I can take one of them.
Oh, yeah, okay.
For free as well. I've got armor,
Yeah, okay.
which I ticked.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine. That's the 3 sucked up. This is a high G,
It is. So, lots of and you are outrunning them. But now this puts you in a situation where you are going to need to navcom it. Rillisk, do you want to run the navcom on this?
Sure, why not?
Let's see.
It's a route out of here, Doc.
Whether this gets you to the or whether they're going to have another crack at you, I think is what this turns into.
Yeah.
You are rolling +1 for navcom.
Yeah. 10.
Oh, look at that. 10+. Well, do you want to arrive at the ring gate? Or do you want to have a deep space encounter? I.e., do you want to have another crack at the Whisper?
No, let's get to the ring gate.
10+. Either the crew arrives at their destination with advantage to getting paid. Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that we are going to see you emerge from the ring gate. And it seems to me that this is cutting to getting paid by your RGA handler, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
unless you want to do something once you emerge in the splintered, the Iron Wreath.
No, I'm kind of imagining it as we punch through that ring gate with the whispers, PDTs spiraling around, and then having to divert as ring gate. Security warns them about firing weapons near the ring gate. And we disappear out, and then the next shot is of us, the damaged sparking Fortitude coming to wherever we're meeting RGA Intelligence asset. What do you call it?
Now, normally I would have you run a downtime here, but it kind of defeats the object of getting paid, doesn't it? So yeah. I'm going to suggest we cut to getting paid, and if that means that we finish a bit early, then we finish a bit early. It's the nature of finales.
Yeah.
So getting paid, it's on the basic moves tab. When you've completed the job contract and the GM doesn't say it's a breeze and you get paid, it isn't. Each member of the crew is asked to help paint the meeting scene where payment is to take place. Then one of them rolls plus grease the wheels. So my question, I suppose, is, Nestor, tell me something about the scene that we now cut to where you're hoping to get paid by your Ringgate authority contact.
Can you start with someone else, because I wasn't there when this contract was made?
Fair enough. McPatrick, do you want to give us something on the physical location?
Yeah, I think it's a sort of an ops room. So we've got the main NPC there with us, but we can definitely see in the background lots of RNG sort of technicians analyzing this data. Let's have that sort of like, Death Star.
Yeah. So this is the operations room on the Iron Wreath's RGA station.
Yeah.
Rillisk, what makes you nervous about having this meet here?
What makes us nervous is that they all appear to be heavily armed. There's like a kill team here as well,
Yeah, an RGA security team in power armor.
Yeah.
Of course. Nesta, what gives you some hope that this is not going to turn horribly violent?
They haven't shot us yet. I mean, why wouldn't they? They could just shoot us down, but the weapons are, I'm saying on hold. They're not yet charged up. That won't give us more than 2 seconds, but it would give us 2 seconds. You wouldn't do that if you were going to if they were going to shoot us.
Now you have been back to the ship, and I'm going to allow you to fix one of those items simply from having emerged here. Yeah. So, pick one of the items that you stressed. It may be that you want it to be an item that I'm going to ask you to consider having with you in this meet, because I think I need to know what the state of play is as far as you're concerned. So, Rillisk, what are you going to fix, if anything?
My precious data tablet. Oh, you know what? My precious engineering kit. That's more what I use.
Okay. And what about you, Nesta? Is it your power armor?
It's not the power armor. We're going to a negotiation. I'm not with the RGA. I'm not taking my power armor. I'm taking the clothes. I'm taking the hidden gun, though.
Okay, fair enough. Right. So, and what are you clearing, McPatrick?
I've only got one thing, so the drone.
Fair enough. And now, do you want to tell me whether you're anything obvious that you have? So, for instance, are you marking, because you can clear all your C's because you've gone to the ship, you've left the ship again. So, any of that obvious equipment do you have with you, McPatrick? Which is to say, are you packing that paramilitary armor?
No, I am not.
Fine. And what about you, Nesta? Are you implied that you're unticking the carried power armor?
Yeah, and I'm hiding it. I'm not carrying it open. I mean, these guys probably will know that I'm armed, right? But just for appearance's sake.
So you're going to untick the carried for the power armor. That is not in this scene. Just so I'm clear.
Oh, okay. Oh no, it is in the scene. It's just.
Then
it's
you're
just
wearing
hidden.
it.
Yeah, I'm wearing it.
Okay, fine.
But I'm. It's not obvious, right?
Yes, it is.
It is
has
obvious.
called obvious.
Okay, fine.
And given,
I mean, it's called because it says hidden on the text.
Yeah.
So.
What, power armor?
Not the power armor, the rifle.
Oh, then yeah, no, I'm talking about power armor. Are you wearing the power armor?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay,
I'm not.
that's right. Okay.
I'm also not taking the grenades.
Okay. Well, you don't have to declare anything else from that list.
Okay.
Everything else is and likewise, nor do you, Rillisk, for what it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
You can untick all that C stuff.
Oh, okay. I
know that's Rillisk.
I can tick all of that.
Yeah, but you don't have to declare it, is what I'm saying.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've left the ship. Who knows what you're carrying, as long as it's not obvious. Okay. So I've got a clear picture of the setup. Who wants to roll plus grease the wheels, which is +1? Is this Rillisk negotiating, or is this McPatrick?
If it's okay, I'd like to do it as I lay out the whole, like here it is, the data, you should find it contains all of Mantis, their communications with the RGA splinter group, their plans for doing it. This is the maintenance guild's dark secret, right? Like this is what's behind the great project is the great project, but this is the material reason they do it rather than the abstract reason that they give.
Okay. So, McPatrick, you give them enough of the data for them to assure themselves that it's legal, honest, decent, and general. Rillisk, you are rolling with advantage on getting paid. +1.
Six.
No, I see a 6 +1.
Oh no, yeah, no, sorry. The dice changed. Yeah, there we go.
On 7 to 9, choose one truth. The meeting goes well, you get paid in full. Otherwise, there's unforeseen overheads, you're going to be paid less. The meeting is calm and civil, no one interferes. Otherwise, a faction takes action or a backstory comes into play right here, right now. Or the meeting is discreet, no one hears about it unless you want witnesses. Otherwise, word will leak out. So you can only have one of those.
In the interest of it not spiraling into more scenes, I'll choose the meeting is calm and civil and no one interferes. And perhaps there is a complication in the RGA agent's ability to access their budgets at this point in time until the third house.
I think that's fair. So in terms of what this job is worth then, you took this job when you were breaking even. So investigative job is worth 3. It went through a ring gate, making it 4. And it was entirely illegal, which makes it worth 5.
Mm-hmm.
So of that 5, she is able to access 4 wealth. Yeah? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to increase your wealth from the desperate you're at to now adding 4 into scraping by. But when you describe, do you tell her about your diversion into the Steel Moon?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Because any information on ancient artifacts is worth something to someone. So you won't get anything for the location and the description of the Steel Moon, because that's, but conditions within the artifact is worth another 2 wealth.
Okay.
If you share it.
Yeah, I share it with Ancient Tower, I think we called her. Yeah.
I think we did. So that increases your wealth by another 2. Do you want to share anything about that strange station that you examined in the Iron Reef?
I'm fixated on that. So I don't think since I'm fixated on it, I think it would be a thing I keep where she asks,
yes,
exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm certainly not sharing access to your sample of active goo.
Yes, back in the med bay. Yeah, as it's inside of some sort of
as it's crawling around the secure container.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I think there is a scene where she says, "So that's really helpful. Nothing else about the ancients that you've discovered?"
No, nothing. No, the maintenance guild holds all the secrets to the ancients. If only there was another source of such technology somewhere in the cluster that I knew of.
Cut back to the med bay, where we see this strange goo kind of making its way around the inside of the container, trying to find a way out. And Rillisk, what do you say to McPatrick and Nesta before we cut? What's your epilogue out here?
I think it would be best if we laid low for a while and let the Ringgate Intelligence sort all of this out. Now that we've provided the tools to destroy this, perhaps the cluster will be a safer place. And perhaps we won't have to keep worrying about whispers dogging our heels.
Nesta, do you have anything to say about Nesta Red in terms of an epilogue?
I don't know. I think Nestor will try to figure out what happens to her. Try to keep in touch at least. But
I think that's interesting, because I think we see you in your bunk, just trying to contact Red.
Yeah.
And Red is showing up as back in system, but not receiving calls.
Okay. Well, I'm sure I haven't seen the last of her. And
finally, McPatrick, I'm wondering if you have any epilogue you want to describe. I wonder in the sense of any contact with Arvin Kozla, your Horizon contact.
Yeah, I'm going to try and knock some a pawn off the board here. I'm going to say to Arden, I finally caught up with Jones. You were right. he is in league with the Maintenance Guild, as you thought.
And I think we will cut to Jones back on Stag, and then there's a kind of, and a hole appears in the side of his head. The horizon take him out, because we do need somebody taken off the board. We've got red in play, and that, I think, is where we cut to deep space, where that station that you're fixated on, Rillisk, a peculiar blue light begins to glow around it. And that's where the cluster ends this series. Lots of red herrings to chase and blue glows to discover. Thank you for that. I'd like to do a quick stars and wishes, if that's okay. Or roses and thorns, maybe?
No, XP.
Oh, you want XP because you want to come back, don't you? Yeah, I didn't think I'd get away with that. So let's start with Dr. Rillisk. My backstory was relevant for good or ill.
Yep.
I championed an ally or helped them take center stage.
Fixed the guns. I, did loads of like assisting moves.
Yeah, so you can have 2 XP. What about Nesta? Nesta, my backstory is relevant for good or ill.
Yeah, I mean, I met with Nestor N.
Exactly so. I champion an ally or help them take center stage.
I blew up stuff so these 2 could steal the data. So
2 XP for you.
yeah.
And what about Chris McPatrick? My backstory was relevant for good or ill. I championed an ally to help them take center stage.
Backstory, Castor, we dealt with him and he was in it. And yeah, I think I set up quite a few people for, I think the big was the hypothesize or,
Hypothesize. Yeah,
That's
you
it.
did. That was a good suggestion. You can have 2 XP as well. Which means I think that were we to play again, Dr. Marianne Rillisk will have another improvement. As I think, is Nesta do it? Yeah, Nesta will as well. Yeah. So if you want to make a note to that effect down in the note section, right down the bottom of the sheet, just in case we do come back and there is an improvement to be made. Right. Having dealt with Mr. Mechanic's XP, roses and thorns. Let's start with Will.
I'm glad that we got to explore the cluster across the whole series. I like the improved exploration move more than the original one. I like the whole idea of the ship and the wealth and all of that going on. And like I thought that as always, everyone played really well and like worked out ways to use their skills and everything. Thorns, I guess we ended up on this sort of like conspiracy and doing things, and I wonder if like there's a problem in this in the sort of the 7 to 9 ranges, right, where there's complications and extras and leads and things to go, right, whereas like hard Scrabble sci-fi sort of maybe but might benefit perhaps a bit from like leaning more into like concrete this is broken, that is, or like resolved lines rather than potential what's the right word, goose chases to go on. I'm not doing the right words there, but need to kind of like, you did a job for the cartel or whatever, right? And then the bad outcome is that you had to fight that guy and he damaged your ship or whatever, right? But not like and then there's more to go on from there, kind of thing, like less sprawly kind of complications.
You want it confined?
Yeah, more confined, I think, because I think that opens you up to then taking other jobs, doing them more mercenary, like Firefly, they have complications every mission, right? But by the end of the episode, that mission is over with, and the only ongoing thing is the river, like doctor sort of.
Would a way to deal with that to give the player more control on the 7 to 9?
Perhaps, yeah. But I think it would be interesting to play a run of this, which was about making money, like directly about making money, and leaned more towards financial pressures rather than threats. And I don't know how that works with the backstory entanglements.
Yeah, because there's that game, isn't there, Red Markets, which is very much about that hard scrabble.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I mean, this is a game about hard scrabble because you're scraping by, desperate, etc. Right?
I will say that in the introduction I've just written, it says this is explicitly not a trade and commerce game.
A lot of the mechanics are about
the wealth is the MacGuffin.
Hmm.
But I take your point. Paul, any roses, any thorns?
Yeah, I think it was good and tight, even with 3 players. I think 4, some more skills would have come on the table, but it was still pretty tight with 3. I really enjoyed it. I think everybody used. I think all the moves we used, the career moves, every single one of them. Thanks for people that sort of allowed me to lean into mine. I try to reciprocate and get as many of them on the table as I can. I really like the new tactician. As you say, previously, I could just make one roll and it would close it down pretty much for everybody else. Thanks very much. Hand over the cash. So I really like that it's to do with setting up other people. I think that's a big advantage of the tactician moves, allows us to shine. Thorns, I wouldn't really. It's only maybe a bit more of a chance to declare some factual gumph. Always a bit of a dangerous one. Weird. There's a lot of described factual gumph, and sometimes it goes off in clearly a direction that another player takes in a direction that player doesn't want it to go in. So maybe this is the opposite end of the scale. That it's hard and fast. I haven't made a decision which way's best in either.
I suppose I'm worried about that making it more, not less sprawly.
Yeah. Agree there, but no, really good run. Tight with 3 people, but still perfectly playable. I think actually that's probably the main takeaway from when I played it before. There was always 4 of us then. This time, it's gone as low as 2 and it still worked. Definitely works okay with 3, no problem.
Great. And last, Sabine, any roses, any thorns?
Yeah, it was a good session. It was a good series. I like these people. I would have liked more interpersonal drama between the characters because that we had the occasional quick talk, but there was nothing much there that told us about who these people were to each other. And me, I'm a drama player. I want these personal interactions. But that said, it was very cool we got a lot of things done. We had a big sprawling conspiracy, which came at the expense of clearly of interpersonal connections. But that may be a way you run it and somebody else who runs it with more of a focus on personal growth that might go in a different way. So, but it was nice coming to a clear conclusion about the series. That was great. Yeah. About the take them out modification, I see where you're going, but I would maybe rephrase it as not take them out, but start a fight or something.
Yeah, I know. I don't think there's a big enough difference between when violence erupts and that specialist move.
Yeah, I mean, when I start with violence erupts, because when I start to take them out, that starts a fight, and then I start the fight, and everybody else chimes in. And I thought maybe if I do a violence, that could just end the problem here and there. And I know that is not the point of the modified take them out, which I think is a good choice because I like these moves where everybody else can hop in with advantage. That's fun. I just would rename it.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's something. I'm happy where I've got with Tactician, but I think Soldier is still on a bit of a journey.
Yeah.
Because I also like where we got now on Hypothesis and Make and Break. So I'm quite content with but I think Soldier is the trickier one because the overlap to When Violence Erupt is so obvious.
Yeah, maybe you can do. I mean, I like the whole setting up the fight and then everybody gets advantage. But maybe it was just a disconnect because I remember the old take them out, which would take them out,
Yeah,
and this doesn't.
yeah.
So,
No, I agree.
but
I
I
need
like
to
the.
think about the impact of
Mhm,
the specialist move. It should have more chance of taking them out directly. And I think I've got a way to do that, but I'll think about it. Okay,
cool.
with that, I will just check in. Is it okay if I post this? If you want to see this video, folks, you'll find it in my video feed, or you will find it in the Open Hearth Gaming Community's bi-monthly, I think now we're on posting of actual plays. And you know, if you've enjoyed this and enjoy the way we play the game, then come see us at Open Hearth. Search Open Hearth Gaming Community, and you know, we think it's a pretty cool place to play games. So with that, I will stop the recording and wave bye bye to the internet.